Hey guys, it's Fork in New York. So you finally decided to grow your first beard. Congratulations! It's quite a journey. I had to learn a lot in the process, so I thought for first-time beard growers, here are a few tips that will hopefully get you through growing out your first beard. So here we go. Tip number 0. You need to have a goal. That's before you do anything else. You need to decide what it is you want to do. Do you want to grow a really big beard? Do you want to grow a small beard? Do you want to grow a goatee? Whatever you want to do, you need to know what you're going to do before you start. That's usually a good idea because a beard makes you look really different and people will comment on that. And then if you're growing a bigger beard, you're going to start having bad beard days and you're going to start questioning, what are you doing? It looks awful, that sort of thing. If you have a goal, that will keep you steady through a lot of those difficult spots. So it's really good to set a goal and know what it is that you want to achieve, and it can just be out of curiosity. That's how this beard got as big as it did. I was just curious to see what would happen if I just let it go, and so this is what it looks like. And that takes us to rule number 1. Rule number 1 is that growing a beard takes time. There's a myth out there that you can grow a full beard in 3 weeks. And if you haven't grown a full beard in 3 weeks after not shaving for that long, then you must not be able to grow a beard. That's not true. Try 2 to 3 months of not shaving, and for some guys, 4 months. Took me a really long time to grow my beard as long as this. Everybody's different. Some people grow fast, some people grow a lot slower. So just bear that in mind. Most guys can't grow a beard in 3 weeks. The guys that can, they're an exception to the rule. And sort of connected to rule number 1 is rule number 2, which is that patchiness or uneven density in your beard is totally normal. Most guys have little spots on their sides, on their cheeks, that aren't so thick. There might be a bald spot, there might be a bunch of little bald spots. Don't freak out about that. A lot of guys say, oh, I can't grow a beard because it looks too patchy on the sides. Watch what happens after 3 months of not shaving. Those patches and those spots will really start to fill in. Also, number 3 for our list of bearding tips for first-time beard growers is that neatness does count when you're growing your beard out. There are a couple of ways that you can keep your beard looking neat while it's growing, and the easiest one is to carve a neckline. A lot of guys are doing this chin strap thing lately because I think they don't really know where to put a neckline, but they don't want to look like they have a neck beard, is what they say. So they're trimming right under their chin and then trimming along their jawline, which looks a little funny. Most guys, a good general rule for where to put your neckline is going to be draw a line under your jaw, like you're cutting your throat, and just shave everything below that and leave the stuff in front of it alone. Rule number 4 is really easy. You think your beard looks worse than anybody else thinks it does. You are your own worst critic. When you're growing your beard out, stop obsessing in front of mirrors. You want to make sure it looks nice, you don't want to look awful, but you don't need to get super close and examine every little pore and every little hair and think people are going to notice it. I've heard a lot of stories about guys, and I've got one too, where I had a goatee for a while, and then one day I shaved it off, and it took 2 weeks for anybody to say, did you cut your hair? You look different. Most people really aren't paying attention. They just sort of get a general idea of what you look like, but they're not examining you under a microscope. So remember, you are your own worst critic. Don't obsess about it. Just relax, let it happen. You're going to be fine. Rule number 5, and this is news to a lot of first-time beard growers, so get ready. Growing a beard will make your face look really different. Okay, does that sink in? You will look different if you grow your facial hair out. And because you look different, other people will notice that you look different too, and they will start making comments, and they will start cracking jokes, and they'll say, oh, you're not going to be able to get through airport security, or are you trying to look like Jesus, or you look like a terrorist, or all these sorts of things. Just be ready for that. Be ready for that. And don't let it get you down. You're going to have some bad beard days, and then you'll hear in your head the cracks that people have made, and you'll think, oh yeah, my beard does look bad, and what am I doing? I should just go back to looking the way I did. Well, if you've set your goal, hopefully you'll be able to remember that and decide, well, let me just hang on for another 2 months, and then I'll sort of reassess at that point. So just remember, your beard is going to make you look different, and people will comment on it. So you can't begrudge them a comment or two, because, you know, if you're growing a big beard like this, you know, it'd be pretty rotten of me to just get mad every time someone said something about the fact that I have an enormous amount of hair growing off of my face right now. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. They'd have to be blind to not see this. Seriously. And finally, this is the most important rule for a first-time beard grower. If you're growing out your beard for the first time, you have to remember the 24 to 48 hour rule. There will be times when, like I mentioned in the previous tip, that people will make comments, you'll start feeling like you don't look good, or you'll have a bad beard day, so just something won't be right, and you'll look in the mirror and you'll think, it's time to shave. I gotta get rid of this whole thing. Well, wait. Give it 24 hours. Just say, okay, I'll sleep on it and see how I feel tomorrow. When I feel like, oh man, what am I doing? I need to get rid of this thing. I'll go to bed and I'll feel like, oh, I'm this close to just taking scissors to everything and just hacking everything off. But then I'll go to bed and I'll wake up the next morning and I'll think, what was I thinking? This is fine. What was I thinking? I love this thing. So just remember that. 24, 48 hours or so, a day or two, just think about it. Because anything you do to your beard will grow back. I mean, there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's going to grow, whether you want it to or not. But if you're trying to achieve something like a 6-month beard, or 3-month beard, or a year beard, you'll lose that time if you decide to trim because someone made a crack about you looking like Jesus or something. Not that that's ever happened to me. So those are just a few tips for you first-time beard growers out there. Hope they were helpful, and get growing!